Mike Cardano with Roto Experts in the Fantasy Sports Network, here to talk about top tournament daily fantasy plays for Week 7 as we strive to find NFL players with big upside and potential low ownership to help you separate from the field and climb your tournament leaderboard in daily fantasy. So let's get right to it and start with the quarterback position. Now, Cam Newton was the tournament quarterback to own last weekend as he enjoyed his first breakout game of the season in Cincinnati. Newton appears to finally be over his offseason ankle surgery as he rushed 17 times for 107 yards and a score while also throwing the ball 46 times. Now, the injuries to the Panthers' backfield give Newton more upside with his legs, and he faces a Packers defense that has struggled with mobile quarterbacks the last few seasons. We all remember the struggles they've had with Colin Kaepernick, but the Packers also surrendered 18.6 DraftKings points to Geno Smith in Week 2. Newton's price tag has risen after the strong performance from last week, which will deflate his ownership percentage modestly, while he still possesses upside commensurate with the top quarterback options. Look, no one likes to roster Trent Richardson. It feels dirty. He's been a bust in fantasy ever since his rookie season, and now everyone just wants to be done with him. Well, everyone except the Indianapolis Colts. Richardson is somehow averaging 17 touches a game for an offense that's averaging 31.5 points per game. He has also received at least 3 red zone opportunities in every game since game 1. Now, we like to bet on talent when trying to win tournaments, but betting on incredible opportunity is a fine recipe too. Richardson faces a Bengals defense that has allowed 4.6 yards per carry to opposing running backs and 4 touchdowns in the first 5 games. With Richardson's volume, it's entirely possible that he falls into 2 scores in any particular week. Given the cheap price tag and the consistently low ownership, I like his upside as a tournament option. Now, CJ Spiller's on-field presence hit a low point last week as he was on the field for just 12 snaps. He's been stuck in the 25 to 32 range all season, indicating that the Bills are capping his upside, which isn't typically what we want to see in tournament recommendations. However, I'm holding out some hope here that this is game flow driven. The Bills have only led for large portions of games in weeks 1 and 2 when Spiller saw 45% of the snaps and guarded 27 carries in those games. Most will fade this game, but at $3,700, CJ Spiller has some tournament appeal. His big play potential, coupled with the potential for more opportunities with a friendly game script, leaves CJ Spiller with enough upside to cover the paltry price tag. Now, this is a recommendation that comes on the assumption that Calvin Johnson is not going to be able to go this week. Now, if that's again the case, Corey Fuller presents an intriguing minimum priced option in tournaments. Fuller has the requisite size and the speed to make an impact in the red zone and on deep balls. He also played 52 snaps last week and tied for second on the team with 5 targets. The Saints ranked 31st in Pro Football Focus pass coverage rankings, and much of their struggles have come defending number 2 wide receivers. The Lions have a healthy 25.5 team total this week, and with Golden Tate likely the focal point of ownership percentages if Calvin Johnson is out, Fuller is a nice way to get low ownership and fade Tate, creating a lot of leverage in a tournament lineup. Now, Justin Hunter faces Washington defense that ranks 32nd in Pro Football Focus coverage rankings. Hunter has played 122 of the Titans' 128 snaps the last 2 weeks, while running 75 pass routes on those 122 plays. Unfortunately, he's been targeted just 8 times during that stretch, but he continues to be targeted down the field. 37% of his targets this season have come 20 yards down the field or more. 2 weeks ago, he connected on one and took one 75 yards for a touchdown. Against a struggling Washington defense, the upside is there for another long connection, and the price tag comes with little risk. Another good tournament option is to find players priced similarly to the top values at each position and use them in tournaments. Now, most contestants will have a hard time clicking on secondary option priced similarity. This is the case with Jordan Reed, who at $5,000 is surrounded by Martellus Bennett at $5,100, Antonio Gates at $4,900, Travis Kelce at $4,800, and last week's tournament recommendation Jordan Cameron at $4,600, which worked out pretty well, by the way. Now, Reed's ownership levels should get pushed down arbitrarily just based on pricing, and he has a great matchup in his own right this weekend. Reed faces a Titans defense that has allowed 5 touchdowns to tight ends in their first 6 games. And despite sharing snaps with Niles Paul, Reed led Washington in targets last week with 11 and ran 30 pass routes on his 37 snaps, while Paul ran just 13 on his 30 snaps. For more in-depth analysis on top tournament daily fantasy plays during the season, head on over to rotoexperts.com and sign up for the Daily Fantasy Football Package. Our experts, Drew Dinkmeyer and Mike Leone, get you ready each week with strategy articles, site-specific cheat sheets, and recommendations that highlight the top value plays each week, and they send you updated injury information right to your inbox with our lineup alerts feature. Become a member of the Daily Fantasy Rundown team at rotoexperts.com by signing up for the Daily Fantasy Football Package. For Roto Experts and Fantasy Sports Network, I'm Mike Cardano.